Hey, clean and sober dad here, hustling hope to you. I spent a lot of years running and gunning on the streets, high and drunk, just miserable, zero quality of life. And then September 1st of 2012, I had a God experience. And I was in felony drug court. I had felony charges all over. I was going to go to prison for a long time. I was dying from a terminal disease. Well, a deadly disease, not necessarily terminal, blood clotting disorder. And I just was insufferable, restless, irritable, discontent. There was just no hope for me. I was hopeless, right? And I had some experience that just, boom, changed my life. And that experience would have kept me clean and sober for a while, but not indefinitely. Thank God I allowed that experience to make me desperate enough and willing to do the work in the big book. The first 164 pages plus the doctor's opinion. Now, this book has gotten a lot of flack over the years, the 90 whatever years it's been. And in the 70s or 80s, we almost lost contact with it completely, and it got brought back to life by Joe and Charlie. Thank you for that if you happen to be watching this. And right now, I just want to tell you that because of the directions in this book, I have a quality of life now, 13 years later, that I could have never had I not followed those directions, even if I happen to stay sober because of that God experience that I've had, that divine experience. I want to go over what the first 164 pages is, because there are meetings, even in my little community, they don't want you to bring the big book in there. And there's people that have many years sober that even worked the steps once and got some freedom of life or some quality of life. They say, oh, they're just always quoting the big book. And they're just sharing about their fifth divorce and their fifth DUI and their miserable life and their struggles today, 20 years in sobriety. That is not what I'm looking for. No, thank you. See, now I followed the directions in this book. And today I have a quality of living that's just, I couldn't have even imagined it, right? And it's directly as a result of the directions in this book. Now, you could read it once, do what it says once, but you're not actually going to get to know it. Every time I've read this book, I've had a brand new experience. That's the magic. Let me tell you about what the 164 entails. First, I want to say this is the layout of the entire recovery path as it's been practiced. It's clear, practical, and experience-based. Now, here's the big picture of how these pages are broken down. Let's break it down into 5 categories: the problem, the solution, the path, how it works, and what keeps you sober. So first, we got the doctor's opinion, the Roman numerals, which will explain alcoholism as a threefold disease: spiritual malady, mental obsession, and physical allergy. And it'll go in great detail about the powerlessness of alcoholism. Then second, we've got the solution, which is a spiritual, not religious solution based on finding in a higher power of your own choice or your own understanding that you can rely upon and that can come into your life, therefore giving you the power it takes to no longer be powerless. Then you'll get to steps 1 through 3, which is surrender and making a decision. And then 4 through 9, which is inventory, confession, and making amends. Then you got 10, 11, and 12, which is daily maintenance, and of course, selfless service. After that is the path laid out for you. Then you get to how it works, where everybody says, I don't have any idea how it works, where it's got very specific, direct instructions from 5 to 7, chapters 5 to 7. There you will find emphasis on action, honesty, humility, and helping others. And then how do I stay sober and maintain it? I got to do 10, inventory on a daily basis. 11, prayer and meditation. 12, carrying this message to other alcoholics. Let me tell you again why those pages matter. They're instructional, not motivational. They were written by people who actually recovered, not just stayed sober. And God, I see all the pages after page 164 get a little more praise, where that's just illustration. There's no direction there. There's no direction in the 12 and 12 either. So because of all the flack this book gets from the people that get complacent, in my opinion, people don't realize that you can actually work the entire program in the first 164 pages if you just follow the directions. Now, obviously, this is just an informational video. I've found complete freedom and peace in living that process. There's a spiritual principle behind each one of those steps. And this book right here is an instruction manual, a text book. And it's saved millions, quite literally millions. I think there was a study from 1935 to 2017, 2.3 million alcoholics alone recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, never to drink again. And there's like 260 plus addictions that use the same 12 steps. And we're a long ways away from 2017, so I can only imagine what that number is today. If you got any other questions, that's why I'm here. I'm just here to share my lived experience with this process and with life as a full-time single father who's got 13 years clean and sober, and I found true happiness. I hope you can too. So thanks for visiting. Please comment below. Make sure you subscribe or whatever we got to do to get connected and build this into a really big community. If you got any specific topics you want me to share my experience on, please let me know. And I love you even if I don't know you.